Dreams change. I know that. I remember my first ever dream was to be an astronaut. But that was when I was a kid. When I was 18, I thought of being a little more realistic. I had my heart set on being the first Filipino-American female director to win an Oscar. But now I don't think I fit in the film industry, or anywhere. Surprise! I'm not your typical filmmaker. I like to use abstract imagery, narrative storytelling, and puppets. I like to think that my process is more like a painter. Basically, I start off with a scene in my head, and I basically trust the process. So yeah, I think my dream has always been to be an artist. Unfortunately, the closest thing that we have to that today is a content creator or an influencer or stuff like that, especially with the art form that I'm doing. But I've been trying to be an artist or a content creator for the past 2 decades. I'm scared I'm wasting my time, and I'm scared that there's no place for my work. It feels like I'm always fighting the balance between catering to the algorithm and corporate greed. I think that I'm crashing out. It feels like I've wasted majority of my life.
Here comes the drool.
All my efforts hasn't helped me get anywhere, and I feel like I'm in a worse position from where I started. If you're a longtime viewer here, it's the same thing. I get so frustrated about my analytics and career to the point that it's all I can think about. This has been the source of my creative block. So I thought, why not make a video about it instead of sneaking it here and there in my other work? Let it all out. I've always heard the term hard work pays off. I see a lot of hardworking people give up already and move on.
Zero. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
At the beginning of this YouTube journey, a lot of me knew I wasn't going to make it, but I still went for it. I treated this as a portfolio. It's one of the reasons why I worked extremely hard in pushing myself in areas I've never tried before, like puppetry, animation, and abstract art. But it was all for nothing.
Oxygen low.
I'm struggling. I've applied to dream jobs, regular jobs, art residencies, grants, and nothing. This is why I think I'm in a worse position from where I started. I had a 6-figure job before this, in a field that was stable and the most amount of support and money I've ever seen in my life. And I gave it all up. Why? Because I was naive enough to truly trust the confidence that I had that I could do it.
Power critical.
All that confidence is gone now.
Shutting down.
The kicker is, I feel bad for feeling this way. There's always going to be people who are more talented, hardworking, and qualified than me. Why do I think I deserve a spot? I want to say I'm doing my best, and that's good enough. I'm doing my best, and that's good enough. I'm doing my best, and that's good enough. I had this talk with my best friend about my art. She asked me, would you rather be like Van Gogh, being successful after your death, or have success now? And without hesitation, I said, of course now. There's this clip of Alfred and Molina talking about his dad.
My dad got me a job as a waiter in the restaurant where he was working. The management offered me the chance to do a 2-week management training course, and I turned it down because I've got an acting job. And he looked at me, and he had that look on his face that you reserve for the mad and the lost. He just stared at me like he didn't recognize me. And the only thing I could say to him was, "This is what I love, Dad." And he never quite got it. I did disappoint my dad.
So that video came out a year after my grandmother passed away, which is ironic because that fear also happened when she did pass. My grandmother was always a bit hesitant of me going into the creative field, and her and just like the rest of my extended family really didn't see potential in it. And in the end, she didn't really see me succeed, and that really messed me up. When she passed, I was still in my software engineering job, and when I first did get that job, she was extremely proud of me, and I know it, but she would be very disappointed that I quit to go for this childish dream, and it's something I'm really scared about, because I really want people that I love to see me succeed, and not just to prove them wrong or anything, but just to prove that I'm not wasting my time, because I don't want my last memories of me to them is just me being a failure. And I want to make very clear, because I know, especially if I was watching this video, seeing someone like, I had a 6-figure job, what are you talking about? Girl, So here's the timeline of how I burnt myself out. I was at a video job at the end of 2019, and I was starting to transition to the coding boot camp because I wasn't getting a full-time position at that video job. My grandmother gets sick. She almost died. She didn't die then. I go through it's called pre-boot camp or something, work extremely hard, and then at March of 2020, we start the coding boot camp. We all know what happened at March of 2020. And the reason why I chose that coding boot camp, because it was in classroom. I have such a hard time doing school online. I just cannot do it. And yeah, it was a very stressful time, but June of 2020, I graduated from the coding boot camp. And then from June of 2020 to January of 2021, I'm doing hundreds of interviews, and software engineering interviews are crazy because it's math tests, and I did 100 math tests basically, and I was getting denied, getting to final rounds, and I'm just oh shit. But I did get a software engineering job, a really good one, and it was an apprenticeship at first. And what's even the cherry on top was that whatever I learned at the coding boot camp, I was doing something completely different. So I had to learn and teach myself, and it was also online. For the 6 months, I just worked extremely hard to make sure I got a full-time position, and I did. And basically for the next 2 years after that, I was just slowly chugging away. I was trying to get promoted to the second level, and that's when my grandmother passed away. And I guess that kind of hit me, and I never really got to show her what I can do. And that really, her death really messed me up, because I was just, in college, I would dream of like bringing her to events, and because that was her thing. No crying, it's cringe. I'm tired of just like people seeing outside perspective of like what I am as a person. I just want to be very straightforward. Like, I am a person who works extremely hard. I am to a person that works extremely hard to being burnt out, and that is why I am giving this one more go, because this is all I ever wanted and what I want to be. I thought of everything, and I know it looks stupid, but I want to do this, and I'm gonna do it. So yes, okay, end of story. Yeah, if you'd like to support me, I have a Ko-fi page for donations, but please only do so if you can, because it's rough out here. I'm also job hunting. The most you can also do is just share this around. I'm looking for creative jobs in New York City, and you never know who's watching me. But I hope you enjoyed the visuals at the beginning, and yeah, thank you for watching. If you've also been here at the very beginning, thank you for being here. All right, let's get to work.